Live from NYC, we're going to be talking about trans visibility coming up next on the Chaos Talks.
Happy, I've done it, still doing it, and I stand.
That's why I say your existence alone is just so powerful, because so many girls have not lived as long as you. What is that like? You've seen a lot of epidemics. You've seen how AIDS has come into our community. Then we started to live with HIV, but then you see trans women being murdered, not able to exist still. And as you said, you stand. What is that like?
Well, you got me all emotional.
The category is real bad. I'm talking about tatted up, arms out, male figure. What's up? I ain't the realest thing, but guess what? I got an icon with me. I brought an icon with me. When you want to talk about realness, and I'm not just talking about in the ballroom, I'm talking about all day, every day, realness, 125th, BX, Brooklyn, Chicago, icon. And when I say icon, you stand to your feet, you applaud. It's really giving pioneer. You just existing. You just existing is so powerful. It is so powerful. I'm so honored to know you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so honored. I'm so humbled to just be sitting here in the seat. Finally, right?
It's crazy.
It is.
It is because you are the icon, Keona Lanvin. Before this house was even Lanvin, what houses were you in?
Oh boy, here we go. You taking me back. It's in the house of Miss Rahi. It's the house of Revlon, Chanel, Ibisu, and Balenciaga.
You was Aga?
I was Aga for about a year.
Get out there.
Yeah, prior to that, in my pre-ballroom stage, I was it was a house called Verismo. I was in that little house like that. It's kind of like a starter house, but then I moved up, stuff like that.
When I say icon,
and that was a Revlon too. Okay.
we are. You know what I mean? It's cool. So when I say icon, I want to keep saying icon because I think, you think of legend or you think of icon. I want to break this down. Let me give it to you. Icon in terms of before there was people saying that they were non-binary. Tell me about your experience as a child and how you've always felt about Keona.
Back when I was younger, I knew that it was definitely something different. It was because I was the oldest. It was me and my little brother. I was the oldest, and then growing up with a, family that was not kind of open to certain things. Because I was so heavy into the church back then, and I was kind of dealing with that, kind of like religion and living my life because I was so young. I remember my mom saw me in the bathroom putting on rouge and lipstick and stuff in the mirror, and my stepfather, God bless, will always say, "That is your daughter. That is meant to be your daughter."
He would say that?
He would say that back then. But my mom, it was just hard on any mother because sometimes with a parent, they feel like maybe I carried my child wrong, maybe this, what did I do wrong? But in turn of that, finding myself finally, I was happy to have had that relationship with my mom, that she was able to accept me for who I am, and I'm living my life prior to that. But it was a lot of challenges I had to go through, especially dealing with family, and that is the worst.
If you don't mind, because I like to talk, you know what I mean? What was one of those that you can remember during that time? Because it was definitely a different time, and if you can, I would like to know the decade specifically. What was one of the hardest challenges that you dealt with because of you wanting to be Keona?
I think the hardest challenge I had to felt was with my family. You living your life and you living your, I guess they say, in your truth, and to be shunned by your family, especially my aunt, because everywhere in a small part of Georgia, I used to live in Georgia, a small part of Georgia, me and my aunt we looked just alike, and they would just say, they would think I was her daughter, and that was my favorite aunt. But I think it hurt me when I came down south with my mom. My mom had accepted me. This is my daughter, and you got the whole community pointing and staring at you, and because of my aunt spreading rumors about me. It was a lot, especially seeing your family. They would wave from you from afar, and rumors would be spreaded about you. It was just a whole lot of it hurt, dealing with that rejection, especially then.
Rejection. And that is why a lot of times us people who are a part of Ballroom, this is how we found Ballroom, because of being rejected. In Ballroom, you find family. I love you.
And I love you too.
I found family. How did you find Ballroom?
I found Ballroom from a good friend of mine named Tyrone.
Okay.
He used to walk Schoolboy back in the days in the house of Armani. Way back in the day. And we was talking about, telling me about balls, and I didn't know anything about it. And I had went to my first ball, I think it was in 92, 93. I think it was a Chanel ball. Chanel ball. I went to a Chanel ball.
Shout out to the Chanel.
I think it was a Shea Fest ball. I could be, but I'm not sure. But it's at the Mark Ballroom. That's my first experience at the Mark Ballroom. I went with my friend Tyrone, and he kind of showed me then.
And was you like, okay, did you know what you wanted to walk? Give it to me.
You know what the funny thing is?
What happened?
It was a different world for me because I seen people who look like me. And I kind of was kind of naive to a lot of different certain things because of me being in the church. And I was saying in my head thinking that, the women are whatever.
Remember, it's time out, okay? You brought a beer. You have water balloons in your chest.
That's okay.
Y'all can read, but y'all gotta get kind.
You just can't take it because you popping moans and taking pills, and I'm Butch Queen in drag and don't get scooped through the tray.
Give me block. Everybody, Mr. Town Food. No, Letitia. Lay it down.
But when you're dealing with that church doctrine of, it's just really weird. Like, I just wouldn't think that was right at that time.
How did you feel?
Oh my gosh. How did I feel at the time?
When I
started seeing the girls that I wanted to.
When you came in that ball and you saw those people dressed up like they were, and you saw those men acting the way that they were, which is predominantly feminine, or you saw those guys with those wigs, those drag queens. I really want us to get here, and I want us to be very specific because this is beyond Ballroom.
Absolutely.
And religion has taught us that's wrong. You felt that internally. Did you? I'm asking.
Did I feel like it was wrong internally? First of all, I have a great relationship with God. I feel like God don't make mistakes, and I have a personal relationship with God. But at that time, I was so young and so naive on different things. Now when I started to really get into Ballroom and other things, my mind opened up to different things because this is who I wanted to be. So my ignorance back then, I had to say to myself, "Oh, you were so dumb and young and dumb." But now I'm looking at my ladies, and that's me. But I was trying to push back, I guess, because I didn't want to hurt my parents. And you want to do things for your parents. If you do this, you're going to hurt your mom. I'm very close to my mom. But I had to live for Keona. But when I started getting into Ballroom, I enjoyed it so much. It's so funny that when you say that, I used to tell my mom I'm going to fashion shows, and I used to hide my drag clothes in the closet and go walk ahead of her. And one thing my mom had seen a skirt. It was just like, oh no, I'm just going to a fashion show, whatever. This is my friends. But Ballroom taught me just how to, be fine with myself, to know that it's okay. You have your sisters here, you have your brothers here, you have your family here that truly understands. And I'm happy to have her going through that metamorphosis and stuff like that of ignorance, because I was so young. And now to, who I am today.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So when we talk about Ballroom, Keona is an icon for the category realness. Realness is a category where you were born one thing, which could be either male or female, and you present as the opposite. And how the category works is whoever looks the most like the opposite category, the opposite sex. So obviously she's an icon because biologically you were born not what you're presenting as now. That is how realness works. But let's go a step further. What is realness to you? What does that mean?
I don't even like the word realness anything, because what you see is what you get. I just say with myself is blending into society, living in my truth, or living my happiness in my truth. That's for myself.
And she said, a raw set, the girl, just a regular girl.
Yeah, I'm just like so regular with it. Yeah, I mean, just living my life. I'm happy. I've done it, still doing it, and I stand. That's how I feel.
You do stand. Now, I want to speak to that's why I say your existence alone is just so powerful because, we got to talk about it. It's a show. We got to do it. So many girls have not lived as long as you.
Yeah.
What is that like? You've seen a lot of epidemics. You've seen how AIDS has come into our community. Then we started to live with HIV. But then you see in trans women being murdered, not able to exist still. And as you said, you stand. What is that like?
Well, you got me all emotional. I don't like when you do that.
I'm sorry.
That made me cry. Okay. For me to be standing here right now, I just think that it's just such a blessing to even be in the midst. Because when I was so young, I had so many people counted me out. Like in our time frame of our early years of HIV and AIDS, I watched so many of my friends die. I watched so many of the people that came before me pass on. People that passed after me pass on. And I'm still here when people counted me not to even live to be 30 years old. And I was so young and I was so out there, but I just thank God was on my side. And I stand to be a blessing, because that age, I didn't even think I would be here. To be now being 52 in March, it's an amazing blessing, and I'm here. And I thank God for it.
It is a testimony.
Yeah, it is.
After the surviving, the crafting,
I had to do what I had to do.
What did you have to do?
I'll keep it real with you. I had to do a little craft.
You know what I'm saying? Something I'm saying.
Do a little 1-2-1-2, a little craft back then. I do little things to sell things to survive.
So let's.
I escorted for a while. I escorted. I worked the back streets here and occasionally worked the back street. I'm not gonna say I was an avid on 14th Street, but I did what I had to do once every blue. A couple of my girls caught me out there and they said they be pointing like, Miss Lewis, and I'm like, oh, and I'm trying to go that way through my wetsuit. But I just had to do things to survive as far as me. Yes. I'm real, so that's how it goes. I'm not gonna look at nobody's story and say, hey, I've not, because I've been where you are. I'm no better than you, because we all had to do what we had to do. As they say now, to get the bag.
To get the bag. And what you will know is that in Ballroom, there's a lot of hustles. And what crafting is, it's like a scamiana type of say. Y'all know what I mean by that. Da-da. Now, to wrap this up, because, the category is realness. You've been nothing but that this entire time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I didn't know we could do it in such a short time.
We did it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you're doing now. Tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing.
So right now I made history, as they said.
No. I want you to say that and say it like what it is. You've made history. You literally have. Don't make me emotional.
Okay. Well, I currently work at the Harlem Prevention Center at Columbia University. I made history there as being the first African American woman of trans experience there. In our study, in our program, we ran a study for the girls and doing what we got to do to get our girls back into care, making a difference in their lives, and trying to lower the rate of HIV in our communities of color, which is very high. And I was the first, trans woman of trans experience there, Black woman of trans experience there. And that's it.
She's so regular, and that's why I said you have made history. Your existence is incredible. So I want to know, because we're in a different time. Time is always progressing and evolving, and we got to go beyond Ballroom. You know what I mean?
I love the change now to see how it's just a stand to see how Ballroom has transcend now compared to what it was. It's a great thing to be standing here. I'm happy for it.
You happy for it? But let's talk, right? So when we talk about the category of realness and the new girls today, you know, I don't know, to me, this is me, hands up, don't shoot. But they getting titties faster than, I don't know, it's really quick. You see someone, then this is the, I know I can't speak to it though, because I'm just a gay black man just doing my thing. But I would love to know what you think about how the transitions are going now with the category of realness.
Well, I think that the transitions for the babies right now, to me, is it's moving too fast. I think that a lot of the young ladies need to take their time before anything to let try to grow into your womanhood instead of rushing so much. I see some of these babies is getting implants and they're not moaning on certain things. They're not, they so quick to want to get all this work. You have to realize, ladies, that you have to get older. You need to give yourself your time for your body to mature. I'm not telling nobody how to, live their lives or start their transition or however they may feel. But I always tell my girls is take their time. I make sure my girls is taking their hormones, doing the things they need to do, have their name legally changed, different things to growing into that journey of womanhood. Because some girls jump into getting vaginas so fast. And this, I tell my girls, if you're rushing in to get a vagina, this here needs to match that. But if this here ain't matching that, it's just. And I know some girls that have gotten their SRS surgery as well as other things. They made a mistake and they want to go back to being their prior selves. And it's like, before any of those things, you need to take some time to do your research, do your work, and take your time. And that's my suggestion.
I love that. We live in a society where everything is fast. I need it now, I need it now.
It was not easy. Like,
you can't rush to get a vagina, sis. That's a lot. That's a big decision.
You cannot.
So when she says moaning, sweetheart, she's soft. The butter is what you are. You know what I mean? Really soft. Look at that skin. They call it another category.
It's an amazing blessing, and I'm here. And I thank God for it.
It is a testimony.
Yeah, it is.